Let's shift over, talk a little college basketball. We'll have, obviously, mid-major tournaments this week, big tournaments next week. Who's hot? Who's not? What's your K Ford rating say right now?
Yeah, we are in the midst of it, Jake. As you know, I was at a first-round game yesterday for the Horizon League. I'll be at a quarterfinal tomorrow before we shift to Indy for our semis and chance to talk about mid-major madness. It's a lot of fun, but if we're looking nationally here, I still have Houston, Purdue, Arizona, and UConn. The four teams that Joe Lunardi's got on the number one seed line, those are the four teams for me that remain the top four teams in my power ratings. And then after that, you got a group of SEC teams down there, Tennessee, Auburn, Alabama. I would not be surprised at all if one, if not more, of those teams makes their way to Phoenix in the Final Four this year. Of course, it all depends on how the bracket shakes out. But, Jake, you asked me about this last week or the week before. A team that's hot, a team that's rising, a team that is not going to have a super good seed but is capable and has the high end of making the run, I'm still looking at Gonzaga. And those that haven't been paying attention to college basketball this year will say, well, of course Gonzaga. It's always Gonzaga. They were on the bubble for quite some time. I think they have now solidified their position in the field, but they are still going to be a low seed by their standards. I mean, we're talking 9, 10 seed range for Gonzaga this year, most likely. They are a top 15 power-rated team for me. So depending on where they fall, if they fall at the 10 line, they probably won't mind that too much. You get the 7 in the first round, you get the 2 in the second round, and that bracket kind of opens up. If you end up on that 8-9 line, that might be a bit more of a challenge because you've got to face a 1 seed in the second round. But Gonzaga's got the high-end talent. They can knock off a 1 seed, I think, in this tournament. That's a team I'm certainly looking at. If Villanova gets in the tournament, they have the ceiling level of play to make a run in the tournament. So I'm giving you kind of some big established brands in college basketball, but these two teams are not having the seasons that they typically have for these programs.
Let's finish it up with the SEC. Ole Miss looks like they have worked their way, at least today, out of this thing. How many SEC teams now do you feel might get in this thing? 6, 7? Are we at 8?
I agree with you that Ole Miss they're probably in a position where they might need the AQ to get into the NCAA tournament now. Mississippi State fans should be feeling good, though. I think they're going to be in. So if we just go down quickly the SEC list here, I've got Tennessee, you got Auburn, Alabama, South Carolina, Kentucky, Florida. Those 6, I'll even say Mississippi State. Those 7, I think, are certainly going to hear their names called on Selection Sunday, many of which are going to have really good seeds. Texas A&M, if it's going to be 8, it's going to be Texas A&M, and they're a team that they're sticking around. They're in that mix. They're in the conversation. They probably need to win another, I don't know, a couple games here down the stretch and in the SEC tournament to feel good about it, but they certainly are still in the mix for an at-large bid come Selection Sunday. So I'll say 7 with the potential for 8.
Kelley Ford, good stuff as always. Make sure to follow him on X at KFord Ratings. Check him out, kfordratings.com. Kelley, I appreciate you moving around. I know we'll have to go next Wednesday. We'll be right in the thick of this, getting ready for the Southeastern Conference tournament and, of course, all the tournaments as we move towards Selection Sunday. So we'll touch all of that and more. I appreciate you so much, my friend. Have a great weekend.
Absolutely, Jake. You too. Appreciate it as always.